Hi and hello. My name is Harkheindzel Kenny Omiyale, and you're welcome to another episode of I Mentor with Harkheindzel Kenny Omiyale. I am a development and empowerment strategist and also the Spiritumentalysis. Today I'm going to talk about something important, as I would always say, and it's something I've been seeing around. Now, one of the perks of Spiritumentalysis is to bring order and balance, truth and verity into all sense of profession, life experiences, and reality, as it were. It is to this end that I'm going to present to us today something important, which is on thought leadership. All right. We know that freedom is a gift that has been given to all humanity, but not everyone does experience freedom. And sometimes for the few who are the first in line to get into this order of freedom, they can really go into some extremisms and, tyranny and things of that sort. So today we'll be talking about thought leadership in focus. What are the things you need to know when it comes to thought leadership? Well, I'm not going into the full-fledged definition and understanding of what thought leadership is, but I believe that before the end of today's episode, you'll get to understand my drift when it comes to thought leadership and where Spiritumentalysis stands. One thing I've seen in the path of thought leadership as practiced by a lot of people, a lot of leaders, thought leaders, is lack of balance. Yes, I know that people can oftentimes get emotional with their ideas and ideals and their dogmas and philosophies. But for the benefit of all humanity, it's important for us to learn to come to order and balance. So one thing I'll be attacking today in today's session is imbalance. Why? Because it's important for everyone who arises and calls himself a leader, and he has some form of influence over the lives, the dependence, the expectations, and the reality of people, to know that even when you're a thought leader who pulls people along your dogmas, your doctrines, your psychologies and philosophies, there are some things you must get right. And this is what Spiritumentalysis is here for you to do. Now, I'm going to be breaking down what you need to understand about the concept of balance, as it were, for every thought, for every idea, and every philosophy, as it were. A singular concept cannot create balance. You need to understand this. Nothing stands evidently on its own if it has just one feet. Now, if you can go into my blog site and podcast, there was a podcast I made about a year ago which talks about the laws of balance. That will really give you fundamental knowledge about what balance is, how to attain balance, based on the different legs that you have. But I'm not going to go into that today because we have a more pressing issue of thought leadership. Now, it's important for you to understand how balance works, and that's what I'm here to explain, and bring into focus today. But this is going to be a brief session, and I'm just going to talk about two things. I'm going to talk about the holding concepts of a thought or an idea when thought leadership is concerned. And I'm going to talk about the two views that you must have to maintain balance when it comes to thought leadership. Are you ready? Get your pens, get your papers, because it's going to be an awesome ride in the world of Spiritumentalysis and knowledge and influence and everything round about it. Alrighty, righty. It's time for us to begin and to go driving into thought leadership in focus. I mentioned earlier before the short break that there are at least 4 holding concepts that you must know and at least 2 empirical end-to-end views to maintain balance. It's important for you as a thought leader, as a leader for whatever course it is, to maintain balance. Why? Because the moment you think you're the only one with a solution, and the moment you think that your idea is the hinge on which the new world rests, then you just missed it. I'm going to repeat that for you to know that. The moment you think that you're the only one with a solution, and your idea is the hinge on which the new world rests, then you just missed it. Now, thought leadership that is void of balance does more harm than good. The sad thing about it is that most of the harm is not seen in the generation that started the era, but from the generation and seasons after the conception and driving of such thoughts. So it's important, and that's why many times people don't know how bad wrong thought leaderships can really go when it comes to life and expectations and experiences. Now, today I'll be talking about the Spiritumentalysis of thought leadership and ideation, and I'll be bringing into focus the four holding concepts of every idea and the two empirical views that every idea must have for it to maintain balance. Are you ready? Okay, I'll be starting with the four holding concept of any idea. Whatever idea you want to raise, you want to grow influence in, you want to gather people around, it's important for you to have four holding concepts at least for it to have or be balanced. The first thing is morality. Morality is basically a particular theory that concerns the grounds and natures of rightness, wrongness, good or evil. So morality talks about what is right, what is wrong, what is good, and what is evil. So your idea must have a concept of morality. Okay, whatever idea, be it a business idea, a life idea, a spiritual idea, whatever the idea is. Number 2, legality. Legality talks about the rules and the laws that governs customs, that gives issues of righteousness, justice, punishment, expectations, and things of that sort. So this is more the legal standing. This is where the proofs need to come in, and how the rules hold, the principles behind it, and all of that. So that's the second concept you must have in your idea. The third is humanity. Okay, your concept or your idea must have a thought or aspect that caters for mankind, human beings as a group, that talks about our social interactions, our social expectations, our social influences, and everything social in its vices. And the fourth is divinity. Okay, divinity talks about the property of being divine, of being like a god, or the capital God. Now divinity, you must understand the scopes and its influences, how it influences your idea, and how it puts it in perfect point of balance. So I've mentioned 4 holding concepts that every idea must have. 1 is morality, 2 is legality, 3 is humanity, and 4 is divinity. For your idea to be sustained, to be balanced, it must sit on these 4 legs at least. What it means is that in your idea, there must be certain aspects of it that point to these concepts. I hope you get the drift. All right, we've talked about the 4 holding concepts of thought leadership and how to get balance in it. I don't think if there are other questions at the end of the podcast and episode, you can ask. Alrighty, let's go to the 2 empirical views of balance. Now, it's a general view. Every idea that you have must be balanced in the sense that in its general empirical sense. It's called end to end. So from one end to the other. This is where the Twain's principle also shows up. Okay, in every idea, in every ideal, we've got the left and the right. You've got the rational and the intuitive. You've got the tangible and the intangible. You've got the visible and the invisible. For your thought to be balanced, you must have these general ideas somewhere in them. Okay, it shouldn't be 100% to the left or 100% to the right or 100% rational, or 100% intuitive, or 100% invisible, or 100% visible. Why? Because for the sustainability and posterity and the legacy of any form of idea, these are properties that it must have for it to transcend generations. Now, I've mentioned the twin principle about the two general, the empirical, end-to-end views that your thoughts, your ideas must have. However, I must end with the cautions in thought leadership. It is important, and this is where I'm going to be ending this episode, on the cautions of thought leadership. And what is the caution? The caution is that you must stay in the center. Okay? For in the center lies the ultimate power and yet ultimate sacrifice. The center of your thoughts, the center of your idea is that point where you balance power and sacrifice. So it's not a point for you to have all of the power or all of the sacrifices. It's a point where you must learn to balance power and sacrifice. When you're able to find that point in your idea, that is the balance. That is the center. I hope you're getting this. Also, because of the word balance and center, many people can take it in an erroneous mathematical formula or mathematical way. What I mean by this is people in this vice will take, okay, for the general views of balance, they'll think, all right, it has to be 50% right and 50% left, or left and right. No, that's not what I mean. Also, on the four-holding concept, it doesn't have to be equal 25%. It's just like finding the center of mass or center of gravity of a body. Or center of gravity rather. It doesn't have to be the center of the mass. You have to weigh your opinions. You have to weigh the power, the influence of the aspects and the concepts of your idea. This is very important. Balance actually does mean the right proportion of any thought, any idea that gives it a proportion for the best and the highest form of life development, of harmony, of results, of success, and organismic experience and existence. Balance means that the right proportion for the best and the highest form of life development, of harmony, of results, of success, and organismic experience and existence. So, before you go launching into a new thought, a new paradigm, for the love of God and for the love of humanity, it is expedient and important for you to do your research, get your inspirations and revelations right, to be sure that your thought is balanced. For it is on the wings of balance that thought leadership can really go far. Alrighty, this is where I'm going to be ending today's episode of I Mentor with Harkheindzel Kenny Omiyale. If you have questions about thought leadership in focus, or you want to get to know more about it, you can hit me up, check me online at Harkheindzel. Just Google that word, Harkheindzel. My blogs, my speaking engagement, my social media profiles, my website, everything's going to come popping up. And if you want to get personal with me, you can chat me up at harkheindzelkenny@gmail.com. It's Harkheindzelkenny, a single word, @gmail.com. And let's get talking. I'd always say this: you need to live the best version of your life, for you have just one life to live. So why not make it the best possible version of your life? Till the next time I hear from you, or till the next time you hear from me, I'd say this: may you always walk in the faith of the Lord. And I always end with this: unleashing Soteria, Lambano Soteria. Have a great day.